Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. This is Bucco Brew, powered by Fer Coffee and Tea. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have Jim. Jim, welcome back from Pittsburgh and hanging out with the local Pittsburgh baseball team.
How about them Buccos?
How about them Buccos? Hey, 6-3, baby.
All I have to say is that I was in attendance when this 5-game winning streak started.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Like, no Rosati curse doesn't exist.
Maybe.
I
I'm
think the
starting to
Rosati curse
believe
was more just they had bad baseball players.
they did have bad baseball players. Like that's not a lie. That is definitely a fact. However, factually speaking, when you were there, they also were very, very bad. So I don't know. Man. Maybe it's just, here's the thing, right? The cone can't be stopped. Even the Rosati curse has no authority in the power rankings where the cone stands. So it's insane. I'm just saying this year might be special.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been a great start to the season. We did this show last week, and at that point, the Pirates were 1-2. They at least salvaged that final game of the Mets series. And on Monday, they lose again to the Reds. I think it was a 2-0 shutout.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tuesday, the cone gets introduced. And they haven't lost since.
It's amazing. It really is, though. Like
it really is.
A few reasons why it's amazing. The players got better. They're playing well. The guys that need to play well, we're going to talk to, right? I mean, the one thing we talked this offseason, great. Wow, that's awesome. Ahern, that's wonderful. But it's not going to do much if guys like Oneil Cruz and Reynolds aren't producing. These guys are producing. The vibes are high. We're talking about now, is this an actual fun baseball team? For half of a decade, that's all we can talk about is how boring they are. There's just no personality. It's just a dead team. They're not even fun. They have moments when they bring back the Zoltan once again from the dead, Now, like this team, it's fun. They're having fun. They're playing well. Yes, it's just 9 games in. Yes, they are number 1 to win the division, right? By Fangraphs right now, they're projected to win the division, but enjoy it right now.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, the fans are having fun. The players are having fun. Everyone's having fun, and they should be. Just to kind of, I mean, Bob Nutting. If we rewind 1 year to last year's home opener, everyone was so pissed off because it was an atrocious offseason. I think everyone knew it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The team, I think, going into the home opener they were either like 1-5 or 2-5, 2-4, somewhere in that area. It was not a good team. The team was bad. Now you go into the home opener off of a Red Series win. You go in 3-3. You clearly saw what they did this offseason. Oh, and then on top of that, let's go ahead and call up this 19-year-old phenom, get you guys all excited for his debut on opening day. And fans, hey, credit to the Pirates because they haven't gotten a lot of credit lately, and they didn't deserve any, quite frankly. Like, they haven't deserved any sort of credit for a long time, but I think they did a pretty decent job this offseason putting this team together. It's still a little wonky in terms of like position flexibility in certain spots, but like they clearly got better offensively. They took away from the pitching depth, but as we'll talk later on, like that pitching staff is still, if everyone's able to stay healthy, this pitching staff is excellent. And then you call up Connor Griffin, add him to the mix, and all of a sudden you've got these fans who are just, they're going bonkers. They're going bonkers. Last year, Bob Nutting, for some reason, walked up the rotunda, and I'm surprised he didn't get shanked, right? But this year, he's signing cones for fans. So he's signing traffic cones, DiNardo.
That's wild, by the way.
Everyone hates. People are being like, hey, Bob Nutting, sign my traffic cone, please.
Again,
it's the craziest. We're in a crazy timeline at this point.
Right. I think when the hoist the cone shirt thing come out from Fanatics, was that about a month ago now? Has it been a full month? 3 weeks?
It's been about a month. Yeah. I want to say
okay.
Cody did his short reel like around March 9th or so. Yeah. It was like right after we got back from spring training.
So imagine being 33 days ago. And I were to tell you, Jim, I'm from the future. I am from the future now. I cannot tell you how the Pirates are going to play. I cannot tell you the record. I cannot give you anything for betting advice. But I'll tell you one thing. Going the home opener, Bob Nutting, the fans will love him. And that's not all. He's going to be signing traffic cones. What the hell are we doing here? What is happening? What the hell is a cone? Why are we hoisting cones? Doesn't matter. Love it. Love it. The players have gravitated towards it. Like you said, Jake Mangum brings a cone into the dugout, and since then, the Pirates have not lost. They've embraced it. It is a thing to stay. It's amazing. And I think, again, like it just goes back to this team. Like this type of team, the way it's built, like adding these leadership guys, adding some more fun and such. Like this team is just vibing right now. This clubhouse is different. And I don't know, like, I don't know who to attribute to, but again, I don't think it is just one thing to attribute to. It's just a combination of just good things that are there.
Yeah, they're one, they're better players, and two, they're having fun. They're having fun playing this sport, and the fans are also responding quite well. So yeah, it's an exciting time. It's exciting. I just really, really hope this can continue for as long as possible. The Pirates are obviously going to lose at some point again. I'm not sure if the cone's going to survive like a really tough stretch, right? Because I mean, it's a 162 game season. The best teams in baseball are going to lose 4 or 5 games in a row at some point. So I wonder if the cone, like, will the cone survive that first like rough stretch? Like if the cone can survive that first rough stretch, then I think we've got a chance here that this thing stays long term. But yeah, like what happens to the cone when they go on a little bit of a skid?
See, this is it right here. Like the Rosati curse is just, it's crumbling. It is so pissed off that it couldn't do its job while it was there at PNC Park. It doesn't believe in the cone. It thinks this team's gonna have a bad stretch.
Hold on, I never said I don't believe in the cone.
No, clearly you don't. You're saying that team's gonna have a bad stretch. This team's never losing again, Jim. They're going 159-3, and you're out here talking about bad stretches. You're talking about bad stretches. Tell me you don't believe in the cone. Anyways, yes, absolutely. All that. And like you mentioned, the pitching, that's looking very good. I mean, they came into this season. We knew the pitching was going to be the strong point. It is showing up. And on top of that, Oneil Cruz. And not just Oneil Cruz. Like, it's just not just, Oneil Cruz playing a little better or whatever. It's a 9-game stretch. This guy is mashing lefties in a big way. And it's not like, he connected with a baseball and got a little bloop. What, 3 of his homers, 3 of the 4 against lefties? He's 7 for 10 against lefties. So, like, the dude is just smashing. We're going to talk about all of this today. I am excited. Jim's excited. The Rosati curse within Jim is broken, but Jim is excited. Well, yeah, we'll talk more about this. Of course, let's tell you a little bit about the show sponsor. Fer Coffee and Tea is a family and employee-owned and operated business. They believe that coffee and tea are one of life's simplest and most accessible pleasures, and when enjoyed thoughtfully, can open your eyes to the here and now. They have 5 locations across the city of Pittsburgh, including their flagship in the heart of Pittsburgh's historic Strip District. Don't forget to stop by the Fair's new location downtown on Penn Avenue, right across from the Benedum. Grab a cup and fuel up your walk to PNC Park. Mobile ordering is available. Check out their Instagram for more details. And of course, that is thefair.coffee. And Jim, you like to be the man that people here. Tell them all how they can save 30%.
Yeah, load up your cart on defair.coffee and type in promo code NS930, and you'll get 30% off your entire order.
So good. So good. All right, Jim.
Mine's just in a Yeti cup this morning.
So, sounds silly to say, but this team actually feels loose right now. And that's kind of all that matters. They're winning. Like you said, the vibes are high. I want to kind of talk about the vibes again, because you were there. You were there in Cincinnati. You're there in Pittsburgh. You're there up close with the team, seeing the team, batting practice before the game, during the game, after the game, as they're blowing you off the field. Tell us your perspective on the vibes.
I mean, they're winning, right? They're winning and they're having fun. I mean, I was there. They were 1-3 going into Tuesday's game, and I'm standing on the dugout wall there on the field, and there's me, there's Jason Mackey, Matt Capps, Hannah Mears. We're kind of all standing together, and it was Hannah. Hannah pointed out that there was a cone in the dugout, and I was like, oh shit, like that's kind of cool. I wonder if somebody put that there.
Yeah.
And then Jake Mangum walks by, and he starts telling the story to Hannah, tells the story to Hannah about how, yeah, I put the cone there. And so Hannah did some more investigative reporting. Shout out to Hannah Mears. She was the one who got the full story there. But
right,
yeah, apparently Jake Mangum was like, we need to get this traffic cone. He got one from one of the clubbies in the Reds clubhouse, and yeah, from there got a traffic cone, stuck a Pirate sticker on it, and next thing you know, there's a cone in the dugout. Billy Cooks, the hoister of the cone, the keeper of the cone, however you want to call it. And it was like immediately, I mean, it was right off the bat in that game. The Pirates just started jumping on the Reds. They and people are hoisting the cone in the dugout. Home runs are being launched. I think that game Oneil Cruz hit 2 home runs. But it was and I don't know if you can attribute it directly to the cone, but the cone and the streak start at the exact same time. So, I mean, I don't know if there's much else to say, but no, the players are embracing it. The players are having fun with it. They're smiling, they're laughing, they're joking around. I don't know if you saw the video the Pirates social team put out yesterday, but there's someone who lives on the top floor of a building downtown in Pittsburgh, and they've got a cone, like right by the window there. And that was a player spotted that cone originally. It was like, hey, I'm pretty sure there's a cone in that apartment building on the very top floor, and like they were right. So it was
also, also a little weird, by the way. Like, yeah, a little weird zooming in into someone's window. Yeah, a little bit weird there, but
a little weird. But the cone is obviously there to be seen, right? So, if you put a cone on you're right by your window, like you're just inviting people to zoom in on the cone. I think that's how it works.
Maybe. I mean, a week ago, maybe you really weren't. Maybe this person's a cone enjoyer, and now
or maybe
you got people spying in on his apartment because of it.
There's construction going on with the cone in the apartment.
Yeah.
But no, it's fun. It's fun. The players are having fun. They're enjoying it. I think coming home too and seeing the fans and how much fun they're having as well kind of just fed into all of it as well. You can tell that the guys clearly like playing in front of, big crowds. They love it. Yeah, it's just and they're winning. They're hitting, they're winning, they're pitching. They're just doing everything well right now. And I guess you could say if there was one gripe, like they only have one stolen base on the year. Like they're not really
I
stealing
know.
bags. But it's like other than that, they're the sign of a good team, in my opinion, is like you win of the majority of those like one run games. Like one run games, they're usually toss ups, and it's like, okay, who can be the team who like steals this game? And so far, they've done a good job of doing that, right? Like that first game, that home opener, really, the home opener. No, was this or was it the second game? The second game, the walk off. Like the Pirates had no business winning that game. The Orioles kind of had control of that one,
Mhm.
but the Pirates took advantage of the Orioles' mistakes and they ended up winning. But what also is a sign of a good team is being able to just beat the shit out of teams every once in a while, you know?
Right.
And they're doing that too. Like 8-3, 8-3, 8-2. Like they're beating the crap out of some of these teams. And like the game's over by the second or third inning. And it just makes things so much easier when when you're able to play loose like that. Like you don't have to be if you're a pitcher, you're not like on eggshells. Like I've got to make the perfect pitch every single time here because if I give up a run, we're gonna lose. Like just having that not in your mind is a big deal. And so, yeah, this team has had basically 3 blowout wins already,
Yeah.
and we're 9 games in.
Like, all that's true. And one thing we talked about last year, if this team could just find a way to score 4 runs, that's all. That's all. Ben Charrington, your task: build a team that can score at least 4 runs. At this point in 9 games, they've scored over 4 runs. Over 4 runs, 5 times. 7 runs, 8, 8, 5, and 8 as of yesterday. They scored 4 runs, at least 4, 6 times. So 2/3 of their games so far, 4 runs or more. How many times have they allowed more than 4 runs? Just once on the opener where Paul Skeens had his start there, aided by Oneil Cruz. They gave up the 11 runs in that game, right? That was it. That's it. 4 runs or less every single game outside of that. So credit to the starting pitching still. Credit to the bullpen, right? We talked pitching is going to be the thing, but huge kudos to the offense. It has arrived. Actually, I want to do a stat. I won't find it right now, I guess, but like I wonder how long it took this team to score more than 5 runs 5 times last year, which I can do here, but
Yeah,
like,
that would
you
be
know
an
what I mean?
interesting exercise because last year they were just pathetic offensively.
Right.
I bet the day starts with May. I wonder if the day starts with May.
I mean, think about this too. They had a record. How many straight games they couldn't do it? Now it wasn't start the year, but still, like
Yeah.
that's how pathetic this team was, and they've done it already 5 times.
Yeah. And I wanna say, like, there are a group of players on this team where, like and we were kinda saying it all offseason, like, there are certain guys that they need them this season. Oneil Cruz being one of those guys, like, they need Oneil Cruz to basically have a career year. They have to. Like, he has to finally live up to his potential. And I know he did this kinda similar thing last year, right? So it's always like, all right, now can he continue this? But
Right.
he's doing it a little bit different way this year, right? As you mentioned before, he's like doing it against left-handed pitchers. He's 7 for
10.
11, 7 for 10 against left-handed pitchers with 3 homers. He had 11 hits all last season
It is
against
11.
left-handed pitchers. So
Sorry. Yes.
we're talking about a guy who is doing things at a ridiculous pace, and he's doing it against like the harder guys he's going to face. He's got a 186 weighted runs created plus right now. He's got an OPS well over 1,000, but he's stepping up. Brian Reynolds is another guy who's very important to this team. We haven't necessarily seen Brian Reynolds break out or get hot yet. He's got a 104 weighted runs created plus, 727 OPS, but he's at least like treading water, you know? Like he's been an above average hitter. He's come up with a couple homers. He's scored 9 runs this season. So, you know, he's done a decent job of kind of getting on base and getting in. But Brian Reynolds, Oneil Cruz, 2 huge members to this team. Neither of them are playing poorly right now. And then adding in Ryan O'Hearn, who I just can't speak highly enough. He is having an incredible season. 213 weighted runs created plus, an OPS over 1,100. Just a remarkable addition. And then Brandon Lau, he's cooled off a little bit of late, but like those first few games, him and O'Hearn were carrying this team. So the fact that you've got like O'Hearn, Cruz, Lau, those 3 guys all playing really, really, really well. The other guys aren't playing so poorly outside Ozuna to really mess things up right now. Because that's what you need. If you've got 3 or 4 guys who are just playing really well at any given point in time, you just need your other guys to not suck. Like, just don't suck. And those 4 guys are gonna power your team to victories. And that's what's happening right now. You're getting some support from Nick York and Nick Gonzalez. It's just timely hitting from Jake Mangum, infield hits from Jake. Like it's everything's just coming together right now, except Ozuna.
But to your point, Ron O'Hearn leads the team in WRC plus, right? Best hitters on the team so far. Ron O'Hearn with the 213. Oneil Cruz, Brendan Lau, Nick York is up there. Nick York with a 141 weighted runs created plus. Nick Gonzalez is up there with a 119. Brian Reynolds 104, and then Connor Griffin at 80. So six hitters, 6 players, 2/3 of the lineup, league average or better. This team had what, 1 last year with Spencer Horwitz?
1.
Right?
1. Yep.
This already 2/3 of the lineup. Now, has Henry Davis been outstanding? No, but a 71 weighted runs created player is twice as good as it was last year. The defense, though, I mean, immaculate. He's thrown 3 out of 4 base runners, Steelers, I should say, out. 3 out of 4. 4 guys have tried stealing a base on him so far. We're 9 games in. He's thrown out 3. I mean, erasing things. And I mean, I don't want to say it was a big one, but I mean, you allow a guy on base, yesterday, really early into the game. I think it was the first inning, right? And it's like, I mean, that's not great. You don't want to see that, right? Because I think Ashcraft, did he walk? No, he couldn't have walked him. So it must have been a base hit. So they stole second right away, and he gets thrown out. I mean, talk about setting the tone. You just erase a potential base runner. That's why, I mean, defense does matter. I mean, when it comes to catchers, like there is that element. I know it's easy to look at the batting average. It's easy to look at those stats and just say how this guy sucks. And Henry Davis, last year offensively, you sucked. But you were so good defensively, and you don't really get to like equate that and see that in like a visual number and say that's how valuable he was, So it's like, yeah, the offense is getting a little bit better. He had a big home run, one game as well. I'm sorry, not a home run, but a big clutch hit. Jake Mangum, like the numbers aren't great, but he's been, I don't want to say clutch, but he's come in big moments. I mean, that bunt yesterday, load the bases. The speed shows. The vibes certainly show. The defense has been good out there.
Can we talk about that bunt a little bit? Going back to Mangum, how many times over the years have we just been frustrated as hell because you needed someone to bunt the ball and they just couldn't do it? Right? They just literally couldn't accomplish the task. And Mangum yesterday, in a situation where it's like, okay, this is a bunt situation. And it's not only does he get it down, but it's perfect. It's perfect. Not only does it move the runners over, but he's safe at first because it's so perfect. The team is expecting him to bunt. Like usually you get bunt base hits when, you catch a team off guard. In this case, the corners are in. Everyone's expecting a bunt, and the bunt was so perfect, he still got a hit.
For sure. And that is why I love him as like that 9-hitter. Because then Oneil Cruz comes up too. Gets a base knock. So anyways, yes, just talking about the offense. Like it's been producing, right? That's all this team needed. But like let's transition this to Oneil Cruz, like hardcore, because I don't know what to do yet. Like we all know, like you said with Oneil Cruz, like he had this fantastic April, but again, that was a carryover. We were talking about time and time again last year. Like you figure he's coming back in 2024, right? He's coming back from the leg injury, so he's sitting pitching for the first time in like a year. Give him April to adjust. From May of 24 to May of 25, the dude was balling. You look at those numbers, that's a whole, calendar year's worth. Dude was balling, and then he fell off a cliff. So I'm not here to anoint him yet, but what I will say is the talks of, he hired a lefty pitcher specialist so he can work on his left-hand hitting, and he, like you like to joke and make fun of things, but the defense, yes, he worked with Kevin Kiermaier. You want to focus on that. The defense hasn't been spectacular. He's certainly gotten more hate than deserved. That comes with the rep that you bring. I kind of get that. But if you know ball, some of those weren't on him. Obviously, that was on other players. However, you can talk and say like, he had a good offseason because he was doing and working things on what he should. And that's a positive. But you're starting to see like a bit of the benefit. So again, 7 for 11 after hiring the hitting pitching specialist for him, right? He's 7 for 11. And again, this isn't just like he's gotten lucky 7 times. 3 homers. You can't fake the funk on that, Jim. 3 homers versus lefties in those 7 hits. So the dude's seeing the ball well, and he is taking it deep on lefties.
What's interesting too is he's like, there are different ways to approach an at bat, right? It's, hey, do I want to just get barrel to ball? Do I just want to try to make contact here? Do I want to drive the ball? What's impressive to me is, and it's 11 at bats, right? It's not a ton, but 11 at bats, and he's also only struck out 1 time. So you're seeing this power against the lefties. You're also seeing his bat to ball skills, because there have been a few times against lefties where he's just like, okay, I just gotta put the ball in play. He's like, I swing hard enough. I got enough bat speed where if I can just put barrel to baseball, I've got a good chance of getting a hit. And you've seen him do that a few times where he's just trying to connect with some of these pitches, and they're falling for hits. But yeah, 7 for 11 on the year, just 1 strikeout. Last season, he was 11 for 108. 11 for 108. That's a 102 batting average with 44 strikeouts against lefties and 1 home run. So it's just we're 9 games in, and he's already basically past his 5 total when it comes to output versus left-handed pitchers. So obviously he can't keep this up. Like, he's not a 600 hitter.
Right.
Versus lefties, right? So like he's eventually that you're going to see that number go down eventually here, but it's the approach. The approach has been different. Like 1 strikeout versus 11 at bats. Like, that's, I know it's not a big sample size, but Oneil Cruz, I think we've seen enough of him to know that, hey, if he has 11 at bats against the lefty, he's probably going to strike out like 5 times, right? And he's just not doing that. He's putting the ball in play when he needs to put the ball in play, and when he gets a pitch to drive, he's driving it. It's impressive.
Yeah, and like, it's weird to say this. Like, I don't know what's more impressive, because obviously 3 home runs and 11 plate appearances is pretty impressive no matter who you are, right? So like that's clearly impressive. But I think to the point of because of Oneil Cruz and the type of person and player he is and such, like, yes, I think what maybe is equally impressive is the fact that he's understanding, he's just putting the ball, just putting the bat out there. Like, how many times have you seen that? Like, just making contact. You see it bloop over the infielders' heads, just kind of falls into the outfielders' heads, like he's getting on base, not striking out there. It's small sample. It's early. Does this stay? Does this maintain? Like, that's still to be determined. But it's the nature of the things that we say, you know, whether it's spring or not, like this is all we have at our hands right now. This is what we have at our disposal to talk about and analyze. And through 9 games, yes, it's just 9 games, but through those 9 games, Oneil Cruz looks like a different batter. He's still gonna he will always have swing and miss in his game. I mean, Aaron Judge has swing and miss in his game still too. Right? Like that's never just going away. But he's laid off some pretty good pitches this year. Now, again, it's not fantastic. He's challenged a clear strike, right? There's been some pitches that have been in the zone that he hadn't swung at. So again, like it's still not all the way there as of yet, but he does look a lot better. The approach looks a lot better. And again, he actually is doing a lot better. So is that hard work from this offseason paying off? Like so far, it seems it. And kudos to him for putting in that work. That's why I think we say too, like it's not so much lazy and like he doesn't want to win. I know there's things that come off and maybe it's just like a mental, like lackadaisical at times, but like I don't think the dude's lazy. He clearly put in work this offseason and it's starting to show.
Yeah.
I do want to just go back because I forgot to say this again. I did look. It was game 21 when the Pirates scored their 5th game over 4 runs.
Okay.
April 18th, I think it was 19th.
Yeah. But no, it's going back to that too, touching on it. I think that we have, I think the Pirates have a plus 11 run differential right now.
They're
plus 11.
Yep. Weighted runs created plus. Also, they're 9th in baseball with a 111.
Yeah, and they don't even need to be that good. Again, we've said a lot of times, like it just needs to be average. If it's above average, like it is now, then you sweep teams, right? If it's average, then you win 2 out of 3.
Shout out to the cone.
Hoist it.
Anyways, just to bring up something also, Oneil Cruz. He's batting .429 against the curveball. Just not that. I mean, he's the one that gets fooled on all these pitches, right? All the breaking balls. He's crushing the curveball right now.
Hopefully, like I said, if the thing with the curveball and sliders is like you're not going to hit. If the pitcher executes their pitch, you're probably not getting a hit. But like what you need to do is you need to try your damnedest to just not swing at the good ones. And when you get a hanger, you gotta
crush it,
get out of it. Like that's what you gotta do,
right?
And
if you are going to
get
fastball,
you are going to get hangers. Like not every breaking ball is going to be a perfect pitch, and so when you get those hangers, you just gotta take advantage of it.
For sure. Anything else that we want to discuss on Oneil Cruz before the next topic?
Nah, I think we're good on Cruz. Hell of a start to the year. Just and like I said, he showed it. He showed us this exact same thing last year. Do keep in mind, he just keep it up, keep it up. Obviously, you don't need to have 1,000 OPS, but if it can stay above 800, this team can be dangerous.
For sure. All right, let's go and hear what Cody has to say.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all three. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
So we talked specifically about Oneil Cruz, and we've talked a little bit about like the offensive whole and such, but we want to kind of dive back into that because again, like it's not just Ryan O'Hearn and Brandon Lau like it was earlier on to some level. Brandon Lau has cooled off. Ryan O'Hearn hasn't, and also the thing about Ryan O'Hearn is he's also hit 3 home runs now. He wasn't brought in to be the power guy in the terms of like, a 30, 40 home run guy. He was a guy that, maybe he gets to 20, but he's what Spencer Horwitz was last year, essentially, which you'll take all day long, right? The guy who's going to hit for decent average, get on base. He'll hit for some pop, but he's not like going to lead a team. And again, it's 3 homers in 9 games for Ryan O'Hearn. But again, like it's not just him. It is Oneil Cruz. It is Brian Reynolds. It's Nick York coming up in clutch moments right now. It's Nick Gonzalez also being kind of clutch and doing what he's shown that he can do over stretches. And it's again, like it's also that the floor, right? The guys that are below league average, they're not pitiful outside of Marcel Ozuna, right? Well, much more to be desired by him. But like that, I guess that's the thing. Like there's one guy really who's struggling. Yeah, like Henry Davis isn't hitting well, but I want to say he's struggling. So like this is maybe what you can live with if this guy's going to be about 20% below league average with defense. That's a big, huge improvement from last year. I guess Spencer Horwitz also is kind of struggling, but other guys are really coming up pretty big in this offense in general. So, and again, I think right now too, it's like Nick York is a bit of a story because he's going to be playing a lot more with Jared Triolo on the shelf.
Yeah, with the Triolo being injured, Nick York gets kind of bumped up a spot on that bench. But it's just, yeah, and we touched on this a little earlier, so I don't know how much time we really want to spend on it. But yeah, everybody's just, like I said, outside Ozuna, no one's been bad, and a few people have been really, really good. And like that's all you need. And like Ryan O'Hearn, man, I cannot say enough good things about this guy. He's just a pro. Like just a pro. I remember Ryan O'Hearn coming up through the Royals system and him being this guy who, was supposed to, be a power hitter, and that was his thing. And then he gets to Kansas City and he just doesn't have it. Like he has that first taste of the majors where he hit a ton of homers and it's like, oh shit, Ryan O'Hearn. But then just lost it. Like just awful player. I mean, we're talking like,
yeah,
he was like, Ryan O'Hearn was to the Royals as to like what Jack Sawinski kind of was to the Pirates. Where like, you called him up and it was like, oh man, this guy's hit the ball. And then all of a sudden just turns into a pumpkin, as Tyler would say. Then he goes to Baltimore and he turns into this just good baseball player. He's not the power guy that, you thought he would be, where, in his first 44 major league games, he hit 12 homers, right? Like he's not that guy, but he's a guy who's consistently going to give you, 750-ish OPSs with 15-ish home runs and not play outstanding defense, but like good enough defense that you could like put him in the field, but mostly at first base, right? That's another thing. Like he's a first baseman, hasn't played a lot of outfield in his career. But then this year, yeah, and it's 8 games, it's a small sample size, but he's doing he's doing more than he's even expected to do here. You do expect when you sign him to this $29 million contract, it's like, we're going to need you to we're going to need you to be the guy you were last year, Ryan O'Hearn, like that all-star that you were. You're going to have to do that again. And he's being that guy right now, plus even more. And we're asking him to do something that he's not completely comfortable doing, playing the outfield. I mean, he's at 50 innings so far in the outfield. The most he's ever played in the season was 172. Like, he's a third of the way to his largest outfield defensive output ever. So like, they're asking him to do something that he's not typically used to. He doesn't look great out there, but he has made some nice plays. Like, he's been sliding, making sliding catches. Now, some of those are because like the range isn't great and he's not getting excellent jumps on balls, but like, he's also like kind of athletic enough that he can make up for that. And he goes and makes up for those mistakes. I think I only remember like one ball really where it was like, yeah, he got burned on that. But like, outside that, he's been just fine out there in right field. You don't need to be outstanding defensively in right field. You just need to like make sure you don't do anything stupid. And if you have an 1100 OPS, like, I don't care what you do out there, to be honest. Like, you can look like Henry Davis for all I care if you have an 1100 OPS.
Right. Like Manny Ramirez. He was terrible defensively.
Yeah.
Right. But like the bad plays, and that's where we're talking about this year. It's like, they're probably gonna have to sacrifice some defense for offense. How much of that will pay off? And Ryan O'Hearn makes a lot of sense here, because like, he's gonna have to play. Like, he is a first baseman. We've seen him play first base even with the Pirates. It's been short stint, but he's made some really good athletic plays. I'll say this too. Like, I think he's more athletic than I was expecting. He has made some nice plays in right field. Yesterday, there was a play that's like, okay, yeah, this is the Ryan O'Hearn I was maybe looking more into, but that's fine. He'll make some mistakes out there. The thing is, if they don't keep piling on, like, that's one. But you saw other ones that was like, ooh, that was nice, that was good. And again, we see the bat's absolutely playing. Ryan O'Hearn is just like the pros pro right now. He came in and he's been saying all the right things. Now, of course, you can say, well, what do you expect him to say? Right. But he's come in, he's like, I mean, the biggest thing to me is just the fact, like, I wasn't here for these past 10 years. I don't really care what happened these past 10 years. I don't give a shit about any of that. I'm here right now, and I'm here to win. I mean, that's kind of a baller quote, but that doesn't mean much. That doesn't do much if you're not out there producing and winning. And the fact that they are is why those things kind of matter at this point in time. Yeah, he said all the right things, but you know what? He's also backing it up right now, and it's infectious. It's passing to the team. The team's doing it. So he's perfect. He's here, and he's perfect.
He's been perfect in every way for the most part. We always kind of talk about, the lore of what was 2003 Reggie Sanders. Through 9 games. Cal Raleigh. I'm looking at Cal Raleigh's name for some reason. I don't know why I said it. Ryan O'Hearn
awful this year.
Ryan O'Hearn, 11 runs batted in through 9 games. Reggie Sanders was the last guy to do that, like in his first season with the team. So yeah, just an outstanding start to his Pirates career. The Pirates finally like pulled the trigger on one of those multi-year free agent signings, and he's been outstanding. He's been outstanding so far, and just one of those guys where, yeah, he's a good ball player. He's just a good ball player. Like, he got a sacrifice fly the other day that was huge when they needed it. He's hitting balls over the fence. He's playing good defense. He's become a leader of this team for sure.
Right. Just real super quick. Not even a minute. We're not giving up on Marcel Ozuna though yet, right? I mean, this is bad, but this isn't like, all right, we got to move on.
We're not there yet. It's definitely something worth monitoring. And I think, like I mentioned it in the post-game show after the home opener, that the good thing about this is that the Pirates are in a situation where they give Ozuna, where they can like afford to give him some time off because of other players in their lineup who are contributing, people you need to get out of the field and put in the DH spot. It hasn't been pretty. I mean, just plain and simple. Like, it hasn't been pretty for Marcel Ozuna. He's not hitting the ball hard. He just looks slow. He looks unathletic. The bat speed doesn't look great. He seems like he's late on everything. He's been awful. Awful. I think he gets a little bit of benefit of the doubt that, like, he's never been awful before. So, he's going through an awful stretch right now that I think you got to give him a little bit more time. I'm worried, I think is the right word to use. I'm not panicking yet, but yeah, I mean, at some point you got to see something out of the guy. You paid him $12 million to be your designated hitter. Yeah. His job is to hit. That's literally all his job is to hit. And he hasn't done it. And fans have welcomed him accordingly thus far. He's been the subject of much booing. And here's, I think, I guess something I can respect here is that, like, he agrees with it, So it's again, like, this kind of complete turnaround from what we're used to. Austin Hedges was yelling at Pirates fans because they didn't know ball, and they didn't know that, hey, my value isn't with my bat. It's because I'm a good catcher, and you guys just don't know how good I actually am.
Right.
Shut up. We don't want to hear that right now. Like, we don't want to hear any of that when you can't hit. When Rowdy Tellez is 1 for 30 and he's telling the media that, you can't be booing people. We don't do that here. It's like, no, shut up. Why don't you start hitting and shut your mouth? like
right.
Just we're going to boo you because you suck right now. And so I guess with Marcel Ozuna, the one thing I'll say is, like, hey, like, yeah, I deserve to be booed right now. Like, he owns up to it. But yeah, he's got to get going. But again, there's enough good things happening in this lineup where it's not being too much of a detriment to the team quite yet. Where you're going to need Ozuna to step up here, though, because there's going to be times when Cruz and O'Hearn and Lau aren't on, right? And so, like, you're going to need people to step up. That's why you got 9 players. You need, at any given time, you need like 3 of them playing really well, right? And then you need, the most of the rest of them to not suck. Right now, Marcel Ozuna is sucking, and he's been terrible and awful. And yeah, I guess I'm a little worried, but he needs to turn it around quickly.
Yeah, I'll just add this then. The bat speed actually is a little bit higher than last year, just ever so slightly. So it's not like it's declining even further, at least. And the striking, 25% K rate, it's not like it's 40, it's not. So he's making contact. Like you said, it's very weak contact. I'm still giving him some time here. Like, obviously, he's paid $12 million. You're going to give him time here. And everyone does like to point out, too, back in 2023, when he had that immaculate season, he started off very, very bad as well. I'm not here to say like, oh, then just don't worry about it. He can do this again. There still is some concerns here, but yeah, I'm holding off. So let's get to the pitching. The pitching has been outstanding. Everything is advertised, if not more. We know who Paul Skeens is, even though he's the worst pitcher on the team right now. Pause. That's a little bit of a joke, but technically speaking, like, it's true. Mitch Keller has gone out there and shown that Mitch Keller is a dog, and this is why he is important to this rotation. But Braxton Ashcraft has come out there in a big way. There's been a little bit of hype to him. We've been talking about him. I think, we've been joking like who's going to be better, like him or Bubba? I think there's real potential that Braxton Ashcraft could have a better season than Bubba Chandler, and we know how touted Bubba Chandler is. But then also it's like, but that's 2 good pitchers on this rotation on top of Mitch Keller and Paul Skeens, and they've both shown that so far, like the talent that's there and whatever. And then Carmen Mazinski is awarded the 5th starter. It hasn't been pretty, but it also has been solid. Like they've won twice. I wanted to point that as well. You're talking about like last year and such. Like that 5th starter role. I mean, they were getting obliterated. It didn't matter. Like he's the 5th starter, and they're 2-0 in these starts right now. That's not what was happening last year with Carmen Majinski as a starter role. So I know it's not great. You can still make the argument, should he be a reliever or not? But at this point in time, I think he's the best option for the 5th starter. And he's allowing this team to still win. Clearly, they have. So this pitching has been really good as far as starters. And also, like, I do want to point out the relievers because it's been shaky. I know the walks early, especially that Mets series, but like I feel like the bullpen is kind of cleaned up a little bit in that regards. And yesterday was a big day. I mean, 14 strikeouts altogether for the team, no walks given up. So this pitching is a machine, Jim.
Yeah, I think if they're not as good as expected, they might even be a little bit better than expected. The starting rotation has been excellent. Like outside Skeens' first start, there hasn't been a single game where the starting pitcher has like lost it for you. You know what I mean? Like every
Right.
other game, it wasn't. If they lost, it wasn't because of the starting pitcher. And they've played 9 games, so like that means like 8 out of 9 starts have been good so far. And like we went into the season knowing that like the offense was probably going to improve, but the way this team was always going to win games this season was still with their pitching. Like that is the strength of this team. And they're showing it. They're showing it through 9 games, starting pitching staff with a 3.14 earned run average through their 9 starts. They've got a FIP, the 3rd best FIP in the league, of 2.73. You mentioned the bullpen. Bullpen has been shaky in terms of like walks. They do have quite a bit of walks, but earned run average is 3.55 for the bullpen, which is kind of right around like league average. But yeah, they've been good. Like it's been a good pitching staff thus far. I said I think the bullpen, we always thought if there was a weakness here, it was probably the bullpen, just because there are a few guys that we're just uncertain on. But like Dennis Santana has looked unbelievable. Gregory Soto striking out a ton of people. You see like the potential of some of these guys in the bullpen because they kind of give you these Jekyll and Hyde situations every once in a while. But I guess what's been nice is if you've had a guy who isn't really looking all that great, they've been able to pull him and put someone else in to clean up the mess almost every single time.
Yes.
Whether that's Isaac Mattson or Justin Lawrence or Mason Montgomery, they've all had their moments where they haven't looked good, and they've all had their moments where they've looked really good. So far, it's just been like the right strings have been pulled at the right times, and you haven't really had like that blow up game where it's like, oh, this guy gets shelled, and then this guy gets shelled, and then this guy gets shelled. Outside that opening day game against the Mets, like they haven't had a game where like multiple people were just off.
Right.
And you can afford a lot of times, especially if you're hitting at an average pace, like if you're scoring 5 runs a game, you can afford like one guy to be off. You just got to identify it quick enough to get him out of there and put someone in there who's not off, right? And they've been doing a good job of that. The offense has been good enough to account for the poor Mason Montgomery outings or the poor there was a couple Gregory Soto runs he's given up, but the offense has been good enough to overcome all that. So yeah, the deep pitching has been great. Braxton Ashcraft, I can't say enough good things about this guy. Like I'm curious on how many innings he can throw this year. He threw 6 innings for the first time in his career, his first time out. Threw 6 innings yesterday. Has looked just unbelievable. He looks outstanding. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this rotation can do. If they can stay healthy, they're a top 5 rotation in baseball. I truly believe that.
I mean, they were close to that last year. Like, that's why, like, it doesn't seem so outlandish, right, just to say that. I mean, they were close to that last year. You can only imagine that this team's more talented. Now, I mean, it's young, so sure, they could have bumps in the roads, and maybe that's not why they're a top 5. Jeez, excuse me. But, I mean, clearly the talent is there for them to do that, 1 through 5. And again, like, Jared Jones is coming back. Very, very highly likely. I don't wanna guarantee anything, but, and, it's definitely a staff to be excited about. And, I wanna talk a little about the bullpen here as well because, like, that Mets series was super shaky. And I know this is like, I mean, we're talking about small samples within 9 games anyways. So to take another small sample within a small sample, I know it's kind of dumb, but it's to kind of highlight, like, since then, 3.8 walks per 9. Like, again, like, the walks have calmed down some. That Mets series, especially the first 2 games, was just wild with walks. I mean, they were walking every reliever came in had to walk at least one guy before they did anything. So so far, what I've seen from the bullpen is what we all knew. There was going to be some shakiness. Like, a Mason Montgomery is going to probably make you nervous,
drive you crazy,
often,
drive you insane,
right? But you see the talent that's there. I mean, that one game he threw 20 pitches, 16 for strikes, 2 hits in that inning. But, like, if that's the guy that can show up more consistently than not, he can be awesome. And again, like, he doesn't have to really do that because he has such swing and miss stuff that, like, one walk could probably get away with it because he's going to strike the other guys out or whatnot. He just doesn't allow hits. So it's like, if he's still allowing just like one batter per inning on, and it comes by walk and not by hit, like, there's not much of a difference there. It's just like he can't find himself getting in trouble and giving up multiple walks and giving up damage in that sense. So Justin Lawrence, like, he's looked filthy since that opening series. Soto's been, I mean, then again, like, just not enough love for Dennis Santana. There's just absolutely not enough love for Dennis Santana. I just feel like because he does it in a way that doesn't stand out. Like, he doesn't come in there and strike out the side and just give you this dominant performance. He just goes in there for 1 inning, throws 10 pitches, none of them get hit, and he leaves and he waves goodbye to them and then throws up his cutlass. And I just feel like for so long you're just waiting for it to not stand up, like, he can't rely so much on not striking, as many batters out as he does. But it's been long enough, Jim. I mean, it's been long enough. He is a beast when he's on the mound for the Pirates. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much more we can talk about this starting pitching. And again, like, Paul Skeens has been the worst pitcher for them right now.
Like,
you
for real.
brought up the starting pitching numbers. That's with Paul Skeens not even lasting an inning. Like, that's how much the rest has come through and just dominated. Ashcraft is so good. Bubba looks so good. If he can trust his stuff a little bit more, get that in the zone a little bit more. But once again, like, the guy gave up 6 walks. He gave up 6 walks and just shut down the team in doing that.
Yeah. They're good. They're good. They definitely have their flaws. Like, they're not perfect, but they all have really good stuff. And it seems to be on most of the time. So yeah, so far so good. Pitching staff's been outstanding. I just to echo your statement on Dennis Santana, like, there was that Orioles fan. I think it was Neil. Neil did a good job of amplifying that tweet, where the Orioles fan was like, who the hell is Dennis Santana?
Yes.
Like, how, like, and Neil's like, one of the best relief pitchers in baseball, buddy. And it's like, since Dennis Santana has joined the Pirates, he's thrown 120 and 2/3 innings, and he has a 2.16 earned run average. He's been so good. So good. So, yeah. This team, I think this team's good, DiNardo. I think this team might be good.
This is where I come in. Every team wins 6 out of 9 games. Every team does that.
The
Right.
White Sox don't. The Rockies might not.
Fair. Fair. But even the Pirates have done this. I mean, the Pirates have gone into LA and swept the Dodgers before. So every team wins out of 6 out of 9 games. At the same point, like every batter goes like a 1 for 20 stretch. Tomorrow, Marcel Ozuna's point. Like you're seeing all small sample right now with everything. Of course, is all we can go with, right? But what I think I truly see in this team is it is a team that will have its highs, will have its lows, just like every team. What matters to me is if you can limit the lows. And I think this team is built and they have enough here to limit that. Like you're not going to have a 40-game stretch where you don't even get 4 runs or more than 4 runs, whatever that stretch was last year. Like your lows aren't just going to drag on and drag on and drag on to get you out of the playoffs by April. I think they have too much firepower in their offense. The pitching still is clearly shut down. That they'll have their highs, but their lows aren't going to be like, all right, they're on a 8-9 game losing streak now. They'll find ways to limit that, which is what's going to keep them interesting, which is going to keep them talked about, which is going to keep them in the playoff hunt. I think for at least the majority of the season, if not more. I'm not saying they're not going to make the playoffs, but this team is going to be competitive this year. Absolutely. And I think again, you're seeing reasons why right now.
Yeah. No, I mean, all good points. When it comes to, I was looking on FanDuel. I said Fangraphs has the Pirates as the highest percentage chance of winning the NL Central right now, which is crazy to think. On FanDuel, they're plus 420 to win the NL Central, which puts them 3rd behind the Brewers and the Cubs. So, yeah, it's an exciting start to the year. We're 9 games in. We've got 153 more to go. So there's still a whole lot of baseball left. And I agree with what you said. Like, I think this team, the pitching is good enough. Like, I thought before the pitching was good enough to make it so that the team didn't suck. But this was last year. I'm referring to. I thought last year the pitching was going to make them at least not suck. Well, the hitting was so bad that it didn't matter. Like, it was so bad. But to your point, the hitting is at a level now where they should not suck. Like, it's going to be, I don't know how this team could suck, barring a flurry of injuries. Like, that is the one thing right now that could derail this season. So knock on wood, but that's it. That's it right now. The offense is good enough to keep them from, like you mentioned, like those 40-game stretches of not being able to score. That you're not going to see that this year. And the pitching is good enough that if the offense can put up 5 runs, they're eventually going to win some games because the pitching's that good. So I agree. I agree with everything you said.
Donnie Ball, baby. Donnie Ball is officially in the Berg. Full force. 1 ejection under the year already.
One ejection. Couple quick notes before we hop out of here. Padres come into town this week. Jerry Triolo was placed on the IL yesterday prior to the game. Billy Cook called back up. What kind of impact do you think that might have?
So I said this in the tweet. They've done a really good job this offseason doing things. I just feel not adding a third baseman limits this team, and it's going to show it. Like, Jared Triolo is clearly not dominating offensively and such, but like this team doesn't have a true third baseman on the roster, and like you can argue that like Gonzalez can play shorter, but like Connor, like the left side of the infield is Connor Griffin defensively, and that's it. It's just other guys you can kind of throw at the position. Now they can hold their weight. Like, I'm not saying like it's gonna be poor, but like there's no other real third baseman on this roster. And there really isn't another shortstop on this roster either. There's guys that you can play there. Nick York's hitting at this point in time. Nick Gonzalez is hitting at this point in time. It's like it is what it is. But not adding a third baseman is what's going to limit this team this year.
Can I mention something?
Of course.
That was the first time we mentioned Connor Griffin's name, I think, in this entire episode, which goes to show you, like this is it's a very well-rounded team because, I mean, Connor Griffin's #1 prospect in baseball. He's 19 years old. He's a huge story getting called up. Yeah, he had that huge hit in the home opener, and then he was kind of, quiet the rest of the series. He got on base every single game, which is something you want to see. I think it was Dan Zangrilli tweeted out an interesting tidbit about Connor Griffin's first 3 games that I want to share here. Let's see here. Connor Griffin has reached base in his first 3 MLB games. The last 3 teenagers to do that are all Hall of Famers: Adrian Beltre, Andrew Jones, Ivan Rodriguez.
Boom.
So it hasn't been like an outstanding first 3 games for Connor Griffin, but he's played good shortstop.
Really,
he's gotten on base. He's gotten on base, and he's in rare company with that. So look for Griffin Griffin's going to have his struggles. He's 19 years old,
of course.
But he's also going to have his like electric moments because he's that athletic. He's that explosive. Like he's going to do things that you're like, oh shit. He had a play yesterday. I think the most impressive thing I saw from him yesterday was a play in the hole that ended up being an infield single, but he delivered a throw on that grounder that I didn't know he had in him. Like it was a really good play for an infield hit. So yeah, I'd say with Griffin, like just be patient with the guy. Like it's going to take him some time to adjust, but he's going to give you some moments where you're going to be like, yeah, this is freaking cool.
Yeah, for sure. Like I can't stress it enough. I'm not worried. Jim, you're talking to the guy who said last year after Bubba gave up those 8 runs to the Brewers saying, I'm happy. I was happy that happened. Like that's part of the development. Like this is part of Connor's development. He hasn't seen Major League pitching to this level. Like he's got to see it to develop. Guys struggle. Prospects struggle out the gate typically. That's fine. Allow them to. Like this is the first time Connor Griffin may probably struggle in his life at anything he's probably ever done. Talented SOB that he is. But you need that. Like you need the adversity to learn from it, and that's why like it's just what 9 at-bats he's had, something like 11 plate appearances, something like that, from crazy small. So like it's fine. Like, yeah, don't panic over this either for whatever reason. He might go 50 plate appearances, he might go 70, where like it looks like it's a bit of a struggle and they caught up too soon or whatever. Like, no, like let them do this, let them figure it out. Connor is too good, and there's been too many stories and stuff of him figuring it out on the fly, those levels. Like allow him to do that now, allow him to adjust. He's going to be good. It's going to be good. But if anything, like you said, he provides adequate defense that it's going to even out. So yeah, let's get out of here. This is a very interesting team. So off to a really good start, exciting start, fun start. And we're under 2 weeks away from our tailgate, Jim. So like you said, like there's still some tickets available. The link is in our description. Again, you buy a ticket, you're within our section. It's the Paul Skeens bobblehead day. So you'll get yourself guaranteed a bobblehead. Come to the tailgate beforehand. Permane Brothers is sponsoring it. And again, like with the tickets, you get $10 preloaded to spend there. You get all the whatever food you want, all the good stuff that's out there. Did you try? I just thought, did you try anything there?
I didn't try anything there.
What's wrong with you?
I was locked in. I was locked into the game. You know what I did try? The new the plaza on the North Shore, the new thing that they opened right across the street from PNC Park there, the home plate entrance. I didn't have any of the chicken or the waffles or the donuts or anything like that. They all looked really good, but it was like 85 degrees. I wasn't really all that hungry, and I was like, I don't really want fried chicken right now. What the hell
did you have?
I had an ice cream sundae. I had a cookies and cream ice cream sundae, and it was outstanding. That was my lunch on
I went to
Saturday.
this new spot that had all kinds of food. I didn't have any of that. I just had an ice cream sundae.
Well,
But,
they
you know, that
serve ice
sundae
cream
was
too.
good.
They also served ice cream. It was chicken, waffles, donuts, and ice cream.
Well, I'll tell you this. We'll be at the game Friday. I'm gonna go there on Friday. What, that 17th? I'll make sure I try some actual.
Yeah,
food.
try some chicken. It looked good.
It did.
It was
try it out.
really hot, and I didn't really want chicken.
Anyways, all right, let's get out of here. So, post-game shows all week. Obviously, the Padres and the Cubs will be live immediately after that. We'll have our NS9 live on Thursday, right? Thursday night this week.
Yep.
And I guess outside of that, unless there's an emergency podcast to be done at some point, we'll see you guys then.
Yeah, you know what? I would expect there to be some sort of emergency podcast in the next 4 or 5 days.
We'll leave it at that.
Ish. That's just my guess.
We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.